let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go.
Drop it. Six.
It's beautiful.
Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by our good friends at Willis Automotive. When you drive a car, truck, SUV, you should be driving a Willis. A Willis. Go to willisautomotive.com. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Android app, thanks for tuning in this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like. You can leave your comments. Also, follow us on the socials. You got the X, you got the Facebook, you got the Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He is Ross Peterson. What is up, my buddy?
I feel like the Bengals all of a sudden.
You know, I like this music. For royalty-free music, it's a little catchy tune. I like it. It's like our theme song now. We have a theme song.
Yeah. How are you? How was last night was Tuesday night.
Tuesday. Fine. I got a busy day today. I've got a landscaper showing up this morning. We're gonna get a bid on a retaining wall. I'm gonna put a retaining wall in because I find Mother Nature has finally dictated the money that I have to spend. I've been putting off a fence for a long time. My fence was like when we moved into this house 20 some years ago. I think the fence was already like 20 years old, and it's a wood fence, right? Well, over time, what happens to those wood posts, they start to rot in the ground.
Yeah, they deteriorate.
You know, and so the last storm we had, 2 panels just totally disappeared. 1 post came completely out of the ground. And my wife says, you have no choice now. You cannot Band-Aid this thing anymore. But if we're going to put a new fence in, we need to level the yard up and get a retaining wall. So instead of, spending $5,000 on a fence, we're going to spend $25,000 on a retaining wall.
Why not?
Why not?
Right,
Why not?
right.
So I'm on the phone with the bank yesterday talking home equities and all this stuff. Okay, dude, I got to take money out of my equity of the house. But as you will tell me as a realtor, it will add value to my home. I mean, if I put a nice retaining wall in, a nice fence, I think it will add value to my home. So we have to do that this morning. I get to talk to a landscaper, a hardscaper. Can put some hardscapes in.
The wood that's an amazing run for a wood fence. 40
really
years.
is.
That's an amazing run
Now,
for a wood fence.
I'm making 40 years up. All I know that I've been in this house
20 years is a good run for a wood fence.
Yeah,
right.
And it was here before we got here, and it wasn't in the best shape when we got here.
I do want to prepare people because I you know that I'm a squirrel chaser. I almost said I'm a chaser squirrel. Maybe I'm that. Maybe I'm the squirrel.
Yes. Can I put you in a phone booth and try to catch you? Can I put you in a phone booth? Yeah.
Good
So
luck.
I got to call Corey at Bats and Bugs and come try to catch you?
My tail doesn't fall off.
Gonna get you in a trap. We're gonna get you in a trap, man.
Grab my tail. See if it falls off. Go ahead. Grab it. I don't want to chase too many squirrels here, but because you have prepared. I've worked with Travis for a long time. Never have I seen a detailed rundown like we received today. So I don't know what happened, but it's like A, B, C. This guy's coming with his top game today. Everybody, prepare yourselves. So here we go. 20 years, 25 years is a pretty good run for a wood fence.
Yes.
What about paver bricks?
Bricks?
What's the life expectancy on paver bricks that have heavy traffic on them?
Well, hell, you can go down some old streets that probably last 50, 60 years.
How about this? PNC Park in Pittsburgh, okay?
Yeah.
They had, 25 years ago, they sold paver bricks that they laid out in front of the stadium. They let people buy these bricks and put names on them. You know what I'm talking about? Ceremonial bricks.
PNC Park is in Pittsburgh.
Yes, the Pittsburgh Pirates stadium.
Okay.
So they had And we talked yesterday, remember, about how they covered up they did some renovations this offseason at PNC.
Yeah.
Because, they got Paul Skenes now.
Yeah.
Everybody's showing up to watch him go undefeated, right? He's the greatest pitcher ever.
Well, he lost yesterday, but so he's not going to go undefeated.
So anyway, they did a bunch of renovations. One of the things they did was they covered up Roberto Clemente's name and number on their 21-foot wall, which is 21 feet because he wore 21. People didn't like that, so they had to take down the beer can and put Roberto Clemente's number back up there. Now people are showing up at the ballpark and going, hey, wait a minute, where's my bricks I paid for? 25 years ago, they sold these bricks that you could buy and put a name on it, and of course, a lot of people put like a loved one's name or a dead family member.
I mean, it's probably like a memorial wall, right? You go to the Vietnam Wall, you're like, that's my grandfather or whatever.
Pittsburgh got rid of him. Pittsburgh tore him up.
And didn't tell anybody?
Didn't tell anybody. People there's literally people were writing into a news station saying, hey, can you help us out? Something happened to our bricks. So the local CBS affiliate did a story, KDKA did a story, and found the bricks at a recycling center.
Now, does Jack Trice or Kinnick Stadium have any
I'm
memorial
sure
bricks?
They've got stuff like that, right?
And I know my aunt and uncle have like a memorial brick down at the Iowa State Fair. They were able to purchase a brick. I think if you read the fine print of the contract when you purchase it, I would assume there's something that says, hey, in the future, if there are renovations, we can get rid of this. Now, my only stipulation with that is that's fine because over time stuff wears. But alert said family so they can come get the brick that they paid for.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, all you have to do is go, now you may not be able to locate everybody, but you kind of put this thing out there that says, hey, we're going to be tearing this up. If you have a brick here, come and get it so you can say, hey, this was my brick at PNC Park. But not telling anybody and probably sending those bricks to the dumpster, not a good PR
I like how
move.
they say it was found at a recycling center. That's the dump.
Yeah, that means they're going to get crushed.
Let's not call it. That's not a knock on the dump. It's what we call the landfill. That's the word for it.
Either that or they're going to crush them up and make new brick out of it. This has been a PR disaster for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have not done anything right here.
They sold 10,000 of these bricks.
Wow.
25 years ago.
Did they say how much they sold them for?
I was looking in the story. I don't see that in this story. They called them Bucko bricks.
Probably had the name engraved in them and everything.
Yeah.
Hey, you can support the Pittsburgh Pirates in PNC Park. Make a lasting legacy.
Be a lifetime part of PNC Park.
We'll engrave your name, and you will be
show your pirate fandom forever.
Yeah,
for the one-time cost of $99.99.
You wonder if there's like any former Pirates that had a brick, like Dave Parker, Willie Stargell. They said, we'll buy a brick.
Bill Madlock,
Kent Tekulve,
Johnny Ray.
Barry Bonds has a brick.
Yeah, Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla gets a brick every year. He buys a new brick on July 2nd after he cashes his check from the Mets. He takes it and he gives $99.99 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think Kinnick. So Brandon says Kinnick sold bricks from the renovation with a metal plaque attached. Now hold on, that's a brick from the stadium. That's a smart idea.
And that makes more sense, right? And I know that renovations are going to happen, but 25 years of having your brick down is not that long. Now, if you only pay like $100 for the brick, okay. But if something tells me, the brick, if they were like $500 to $1,000, that's some money.
All right, I'm going to do some searching here. See if I can find out how much those bricks were. They were sold back in 1999.
And they sold 10,000.
Sold 10,000 of them. Why wouldn't they have what the price of those bricks were? Maybe they were different prices.
Well, depending on placement, right?
And size,
that's what I would think.
That.
Size and placement, that would make something. Andy Van Slyke had a brick.
Yeah, Andy Van. What a great name. What a good pull.
That came from Moose. Andy Van Slyke.
Slyke. That's a good one.
This morning show, how many random pirates?
Okay, yeah. See, this is a fun game that
this is the score.
Guys sit around and do.
Yeah.
This is a locker room
There goes
game,
my
isn't it?
rundown. There goes my entire rundown for the day.
Sorry, man. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have brought it up.
It's all
you
right.
let the squirrel loose.
I did. See what happens when you let a squirrel out of its cage? This is why you got to get him in a phone booth and
Get him
catch
in a phone booth. Call Corey. Say, catch that squirrel. I got it. There's got to be something here. It sourced me to another CBS News story, but this is just about the removal of the bricks where I talked to more people. People are pissed about
because
this.
I don't know. Would people be as mad if they would have been told in advance? I don't think so. If you say, hey, unfortunately.
Like, what's your expectation? I'm not. I agree, and I brought it up because the initial. I think that's part. The headline's probably designed to do exactly what it did. Get me to go. God damn it! Why they're screwing people over. You bought a brick 25 years ago that people have been walking on. Thousands of people have been walking on for 25 years in Pittsburgh outside. That's why I'm genuinely asking, what was the expectancy there?
Ross, they think they're going to be immortalized forever.
That's the thing. Was it sold to them like that?
I don't know.
Enshrine your pirate fandom forever. Send us your money and you'll be more of a fan.
But you know the emotional tie, right? And that is, if it was a grandfather, if it was somebody, people they go to the park, and they probably go and look at that brick every time they go.
We have 2 benches with my mom's name on them around town.
What if they just randomly disappeared?
I would be upset. I would, yeah. But I'd also know what that expectation is with the zoo when we bought that one down there. And it was an awesome thing that we were able to do. There's a cool bench and a spot that my mom loved to sit at the zoo. It's really neat when we go down there to go and see that. It was cheap. And I'll be honest, I won't speak for the family. If they got rid of it, if they called and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, a rock fell on your mom's bench and it broke," and we're not gonna, okay, I got what I want. I've gotten what I wanted out of it or needed out of it, I guess.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I feel bad for these people. They are pissed, though. I mean,
see what you do there, because it's impossible to reach out to all 10,000 people who purchased a brick, because some are probably dead. 2, they probably don't have the contact information. But you do an announcement through the media, because they'll cover stuff like that and say, hey, as part of this renovation, unfortunately, we're going to have to remove these bricks. And if you give people a heads up, you're still going to have pissed off people. That's human nature. People are never going to be satisfied. But you can't say you didn't tell them, right?
So, all right. So I'm looking at the dates of these stories here. Here's the deal. Preseason, they did.
Really?
They told the people they were moving them.
Oh.
Now I'm understanding the fury here. A little bit more. The way I'm, again, kind of piecing these stories together. The first story came out late January that said, hey, renovations are happening. We're moving the Bucko bricks. We're moving the Bucko bricks.
You know what happens during demolition sometimes? Even though you try to preserve said bricks, they get damaged. And you know what's really hard to do? Repair bricks. We actually recently did a project like this at MCL Construction, where we had to take these memorial bricks, and we were told by the city, because it was for a military memorial, Ross, and we were told by the city, these cannot get damaged. You have to be uber careful with these, because if you're not, we're going to have some really mad people. So it added a little to the cost, because you have to be extremely careful. You know. Good rabbit hole.
Yeah, this is a fun. I'm interested to know how. But anyway, fun thing.
We can get all the information we need, except what did the bricks cost?
What'd you pay for them?
That's what we want to know. What did you pay for your brick?
So let me ask you, what's the breaking point for you? What's the point of like, oh yeah, you should be pissed?
$1,000.
1,000. Okay, so if they paid $500 25 years ago, your attitude on it is you got what you paid for.
Let's use a word you hear a lot: depreciation.
Oh boy, I had a great conversation about depreciation yesterday.
Yes.
You know, I learned more about HOAs yesterday over about a 2-hour lunch and I thought I was pretty well educated by this same gentleman a couple years ago. Holy cow. Yeah, depreciation.
Yes. Your car depreciates the minute you drive it off the lot. Buy a boat, it has depreciated.
Almost everything in your life, almost every physical object is depreciating by the minute.
Except for your home. Your home, hopefully...
If you're taking care of it, your home's getting worth more money.
Yes.
But yeah, all that other stuff, appreciation.
Yes. It goes up in value. But a brick, I know that you're buying it for sentimental value. You might be buying it more for support of the Pirates. But at the end of the day, that thing's going to depreciate. So I think $1,000 would be my, hey, could you at least let me come get my brick?
Yeah, it's funny because your threshold was much, much, much higher than mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking if I had spent $500 on this thing, I'd be like, hey, we spent $500 on that brick. A brick. We give you $500. What are you guys doing with that? And now they have backtracked and said they're basically going to put the name somewhere else along the river walk or something. They're going to end up spending more money to build a second monument than it would have been just to say.
I'm willing to bet, I don't even know this, but I'm willing to bet of the 10,000 people that purchased the brick, the Bucko bricks, that the people who are really pissed didn't buy said brick.
Oh.
It is... My grandfather, my mom bought that. My dad bought that.
I
my
used
brother
to go there
bought
all
that.
the time and see Billy's brick. This is all. This is that could be, Trav.
So you're upset for sentimental reasons, and I get it. I'm not taking away that, but it wasn't probably your investment. That's my opinion. But 25 years is a long time, And if you got to say that over the last 25 years. You got to see Grandpa Bob's and brick. That's a lifetime of memories.
And Trav, again, this is the classic Nixon thing. The cover-up is worse than the crime.
Yes.
In January, the Pirates told CBS News affiliate in Pittsburgh that they were working on multiple options to display the Bucko bricks. So they knew it was going to be an issue. They said, hey, we're gonna put something together. And then when people showed up and there was nothing there, they reached out to the news. They're like, hey, we can't find our bricks. They're like, we got an investigative reporter that'll look into that. Found them at the dump. Hey, we're on it. Pirates say, don't worry, we're gonna get a display up.
Can you imagine sitting around the newsroom? Slow news day. Here we go. We lost bricks of PNC Park.
People are pissed. Like that's the way I would look at it. If I'm that news director, I'm like, hey, we're getting, because they even one of the stories they even show the emails. Like, we're not just making this up. We're getting inundated with emails with people. They're like, where the hell are our bricks?
Can you imagine the dump truck driver and the front loader? Are we sure we're supposed to do this? Yeah, just throw them in the back. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, man. Hey, if you are new to the Rush Radio Show or listen early in the morning and haven't heard, we are giving away Indiana Fever tickets, your chance to see Caitlyn Clark play in Iowa City against the Brazilian national team. That game's coming up, I believe, on May 5th. You can go to therushradio.com. That's therushradio.com. Click on the promotions tab and enter your information, your name, your email address, and your telephone number for your chance to win said tickets. We got a nice pair, great seats. You won't be disappointed where you're sitting. You'll get a great view of Caitlyn Clark. You'll get a great view of the Indiana Fever. And then on April 18th, we're going to draw 5 names just randomly, and those 5 will be selected to shoot a Logo 3. And basically, it's a shooting contest. And we hope it's as a cluster as we think it's going to be. We want to see some bad shooting.
Think if the first guy goes up there and just drains
it and just drains one.
Looks at everybody else like, do I just get the tickets? Or
Well, Caitlyn Clark, of course, is in the news because yesterday on Netflix, the David Letterman special dropped, and Caitlyn Clark is his guest, where she's on stage with David Letterman at Ball State. And if you have not logged on to the internet over the last 24 hours, this is kind of dominating it. And it's Caitlyn Clark talking about a famous scrimmage her sophomore year in Iowa City, to where her team was down 15 points to the basically male manager scrimmage team, right? So they get kids on campus. They say, hey, do you want to be part of the scrimmage team? The women are down 15 points, and Caitlyn Clark, this was kind of always talked about but never seen, and this is what happened.
Speaking of videoing practices, there's one iconic scrimmage.
There is.
Yeah.
But nobody knows if it actually happened because
it
nobody
happened.
actually saw it.
No, you know what happened.
Yes. So we have a practice team that's just all guys. They have to be students at the university. They basically just volunteer their time, and I think we were down 15. So we make a couple threes. We cut it to 10, maybe. I don't even know.
Now when you say we make a couple of threes, was it you or was everybody making threes?
It was me, but the points went to the Iowa Hawkeyes. So I think I had 22 points in 2 minutes was the moral of the story.
I'm sorry. 22 points in 2 minutes.
So, I mean, it just, and what happens is, because everybody says, well, there was no video of it, all of a sudden the video starts to come out and people get to see Caitlyn Clark in action. Ross, great story, but I'm a conspiracy theorist here.
Oh, here we go. I like this.
I'm a conspiracy theorist. We are coming off the women's national championship game. We're coming off the talking of Paige Beckers and winning the national title and being the first round pick. But yet 3 days after that, they dropped this, and Caitlyn Clark again is dominating the headlines for women's basketball. It was, my mind right away goes, oh, really? We're playing poker here? You just showed your cards. Let's show ours. And Caitlyn Clark back in the news.
Now, when you say, okay, hold on. When in your card game analogy, who's playing? What do you mean?
So it's basically UConn and Paige Beckers and Caitlyn Clark said.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No, I like the conspiracy theory, but let me take it a little bit broader.
Okay.
What I thought you were going with was, this is the timing of this works out perfectly for the WNBA and the momentum that they're trying to carry into their WNBA season, which they're trying to build that up. They didn't have a great showing. They wouldn't have known this. I mean, the David Letterman thing would have been filmed a long time ago, and they would have had that planned for release. So I don't think it would have been like a Caitlyn Clark team thing. What I think it was, Travis, I think this is more of an effort by the WNBA to build on that momentum, to stay in the news and to stay relevant. And quite frankly, because they had, 9 million less, a lot less people watched Paige Beckers than had watched Caitlyn Clark the year before.
But still, take the Caitlyn Clark year out of it, still a record year for the women's game.
But a huge drop off. So
yes.
how do you get people paying attention again or talking about it? And this worked, dude. I did not watch a minute of the women's NCAA tournament.
Either did I.
When this thing started floating around yesterday on social media, you're damn right I watched it.
Did you watch the whole? I haven't watched the whole special yet. I'll probably do that tonight.
No,
I haven't watched the whole
stuff.
I guess, Ross, because you had Don Staley and others talking about, hey, everybody talked about Caitlyn, but there's other players out there. There's really good players, and you want to build momentum for the people that are going to the WNBA now, but the WNBA or Netflix or whatever says, okay, yeah, but here's a story that even adds to her mystique. of greatness.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a Caitlyn Clark team decision. Like, they don't have that sort of power. I think that this is, if you want to talk conspiracy theory, I think that Netflix would have been the ones that decided on the launch of this. Netflix would have been saying to themselves, let's capitalize on the popularity of women's basketball by releasing this thing right after the NCAA tournament. And the WNBA benefits from this by having carrying that momentum and trying to capitalize on it. I don't necessarily think it's I like your poker game thing and the conspiracy theory, and that this is the timing of this is by no means accidental. You're right about that.
It's there's no coincidence here. All right,
but I don't think I don't think that the two players at the table are Caitlyn Clark and Paige Beckers or representatives of. I think that it's more. I want to use a different analogy, man. We are passengers on the entertainment bus. They're driving.
Okay, and that's a good way to look at it. What's more entertaining, the game that was the national or Caitlyn Clark sitting on a stage going, oh, and then people going to find the video, because I don't know if they showed the video on the Letterman show. All of a sudden, people started releasing clips. Oh, there's video of this, because she said, "Oh, nobody's ever seen it."
There's no video. Yeah.
Then the video starts coming, which I don't tell me that video wasn't placed with somebody to show it, because it hasn't been shown since her sophomore, and nobody's ever seen it. And all of a sudden,
well, people have seen
boom.
it. Hold on, now
I hadn't.
I know you hadn't.
Had you seen it?
No, but I had seen people say, "Hey, this video was out there. It just didn't." And apparently, it had gone semi-viral a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not. I love the conspiracy theory brain. You might be taking it a bit too far here. Of like, oh, they got the tape in the right hands. They could get it out there. It's been out there. This story. I think that the Letterman thing, he gives it a different platform, and it launches into a new stratosphere of awareness. That's what I think happened there. Okay, now it's real impressive that you go for 22 points in 2 minutes. That's amazing, right? Doing it against a bunch of college guys that are trying. That's real impressive. First of all, 22 points in 2 minutes. I couldn't do that in my driveway by myself. I have a buddy he's a decent basketball player, 6'6", big guy, 6'4", we'll say. Big fella, husky guy. He's losing weight, so I'm going to say we're at 280, 6'4", 280.
Big boy. That's a big boy.
He thinks he could beat Caitlyn Clark in one-on-one.
No.
He's convinced he could just back her down.
No, but I will say this. I don't think he could beat her one-on-one. But the fact that this team was down 15 to a bunch of basically scrubs that they got off campus reinforces my belief. There's a lot of people, I've said this for a long time. I said it on the old show, I said it on this show, that like the best, you take the state champions in Class 4A boys, they would crush a women's basketball team, college basketball team.
Yes.
Yeah, and people are like, no. Oh, yes, they would.
Yeah, the athleticism is crazy. And this is not, what they're playing is not I think the proof is in this, right? This is a group, this is basically an intramural team.
Yes.
This is a college intramural team. Some of those dudes may have played high school basketball. And now you take the best team in the state at high school, they're going to
win.
They're going to win.
Easily.
By the way, listeners got some answers for us. The large bricks were $150. The small bricks were $75.
Okay, no, then you can be mad they didn't tell you.
25 years ago.
Yeah. They depreciated out after about 5 years.
515 saw 9/11.
515-517-2303 is the number to call if you want to participate in the show. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Hi, I'm Josh Romick, manager at Willis Lexus. I want to take a moment to share with you the great deals that we've got going on starting now through the end of April. We are offering $100 off a full brake service or $50 off a two-wheel brake service. In addition to that, for limited time only, receive up to an $80 prepaid Visa or MasterCard. You can give us a call to schedule or visit us online at willislexus.com.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Do you have a pest problem? With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
Believe it or not, spring is coming. When it does, be absolutely organized with custom garage or closet systems from Absolute Garage and Closets. Turn a winter mess into a spring success at our showroom in Urbandale or visit absolutegarage.net.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Spring cleaning continues. Come down to Land Rover Des Moines to get your front and rear differential fluid services done for $199.95 each. Preventative maintenance is important to ensure your vehicle runs smoothly down the road. To schedule, give us a call or head online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Listen to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive all day long at therushradio.com. Click that Listen Live link. Show loops all day long, all night long. If you're looking for the podcast version of it, you can always download it at your favorite podcast provider. I'm going to keep it on the WNBA for a little bit. I'm sure this will make Ross happy. Did you see the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition's coming out?
Okay.
Haley Van Lith is going to be a digital cover. She's
okay. Oh, God, my brain. Jeez. Dude, for a minute, I thought you meant AI.
No.
For a minute, I
No.
thought it was like, yeah, Sports Illustrated is going to do AI Haley Van Lith in a swimsuit. Here
Yes.
you go. No, I know what you mean. If you go to si.com and you look at the swimsuit edition online, you're going to see a picture of Haley Van Lith in a swimsuit.
Yes. Looks pretty good in a swimsuit. And I can say that because she's in her 20s. All right? I can say that. Now, I'm going to sound like a creepy old man here. Because you know what? I am a creepy old man. There's one thing the WNBA, besides Caitlyn Clark, is doing really, really well. It is selling sex and it's selling style, depending on how you look at it. Now, some people might be offended by this. But, Ross, there's even there's an article out there about the WNBA tunnel walk when players enter the arena is like the most popular runway in fashion today. And the truth is, most of the WNBA players outside of Caitlyn Clark that I can name I have started following on Instagram because, quite frankly, they're hot. All right, and their outfits are, they have sex appeal to them, and you go, oh, this gets a different audience to watch. I can tell you, Asia Wilson obviously is one of the best players, but she's a phenomenal dresser. Sophie Cunningham, who is now playing for the Indiana Fever, is one of the most provocative dressers out there. You have Lexi Hull, who also falls into that. You have Dejanay Carrington, who's just wow. And I think that's a smart play by the WNBA. People may be offended by that, but I think it gets a different set of eyes, not for the right reasons, but it goes, boy, who are these people? Am I wrong? I mean,
dude, you're being honest. Are you wrong? What do you mean? You're being completely honest.
I'm being completely honest. I didn't know who. I didn't know who's the golf girl that I follow. I forget.
Paige Spiranek.
I didn't know who Paige Spiranek was before Instagram and her big boobs. Now, do I like those? Yeah, but she's also a pretty darn good golfer. Dude,
I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but you sent me an Instagram thing last night. It was a video of a little kid in football plowing over his opponents, right?
Yeah.
But you know how then you get that video and then it scrolls to the next video.
Yeah.
So you sent me that video, and I don't have any idea if it was because it was from you.
Might have been.
The next video that it scrolled to was Paige Spiranek hitting the slow motion drive. Like,
it might have been because it was from my feed. It might have been. I don't know.
I don't know if it had anything to do with it. Listen, Travis, I love how honest you are about it. Okay. Man, we're all different. Different stuff, different strokes for different folks. Different things float our boat. And I love beautiful women. I don't want this to come across like, but you are, everything you said is correct. They're drawing in a different set of eyeballs. They're drawing in more eyeballs by doing that. Okay, but there's a dichotomy here of, hey, we don't want to be sex symbols, but we want to look nice. LeBron James isn't trying to be a sex symbol when he wears his. Remember when he used to wear the short suit thing?
But dudes are different. Dudes are different.
But what I'm saying is that's purely fashion. And for the girls, I think I feel like it's probably the same thing, purely fashion. But it gets sexualized, and that's not your fault. I want to be careful here. I'm not saying like you're a pervert. I love how honest you are with us about it, because most people wouldn't be that honest, but that's why they're watching. I do think that there is a huge percentage of the WNBA fan base. Huge percentage is probably wrong. I think there is a section of that population that is in it for the basketball. You know what I mean? They've been season ticket holders up at Hilton. They've been Bill Fennelly fans for 30 years, and they are women's basketball fans. And now they're excited that the WNBA. In fact, they're probably the ones that are a little bit pissed off, because you know how we all are with
the
bands.
Purists. The purists get mad.
You weren't here from the beginning, damn it! You don't get to come on board now.
I mean, but you can use this for if we were to go through women's golf, if we were to go through tennis, if we were to go through the WNBA, almost every women's sport, this is my feeling. I'm not speaking for everybody, but my thought would be you could probably name the hottest person. Let's use tennis as an example. Was not a major champion, but we all know who Anna Kournikova is.
True.
We all know who Anna Kournikova is.
Danica Patrick, part of her success and her opportunities came because she was gorgeous.
But she's also she was a good driver.
She was a talented driver. Again, I was careful what I said there.
Yeah.
Part of her opportunities came because she was a gorgeous woman.
And by the way, both can be true. And what I'm saying here is, I don't think these players want to be they're not going to, hey, I'm gonna show how sexualized I am. But they also know that when you're not ugly, right?
I think there's some of both. There's some of these women. And again, Travis, I didn't. This is literally all news to me. I didn't know that when you said the tunnel or run, I thought you meant them coming out onto the court.
No, the big.
You mean from the bus to the locker room thing?
And Ross, if you watch enough WNBA games, they show this now. They'll show, and then there's like the WNBA, I believe, has like a tunnel walk Instagram to show exactly what you're.
Then prepare yourselves, WNBA purists, because you get more of what you pay attention to.
100%.
And if their coverage is, oh my gosh, look at the fashion, look at the brands, then that's what then the other locker rooms will start to notice that. They're watching these games, they're recording them and then going back and watching them when they get home because it's an important thing to them. And then they see that that's what the coverage is.
And what else does that trickle down to? It trickles down to marketing opportunities because what you have now are fashion companies reaching out to these players going, hey, we'll dress you, right? I mean, we will dress you. Here's your outfit. Wear it. It's no different than like the red carpet on the Academy Awards night. What are you wearing? I'm wearing Louis Vuitton.
And if that's what they listen, if that's what they want to do, that's fine.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
But don't bitch about it later. Because that's what's going to happen. I mean, as soon as I'm unaware of this stuff.
I like to bring you into the awareness.
I like that you do, but from an outsider's point of view, this stuff is just absurd. Because from where I sit, I've also been told do not sexualize these women. It's not, and if it's about the sport. Well, then I find out that the actual people that are paying to cover it and getting paid to cover it and where all the money is getting generated from, where's their focus? On the brand, on the label of the jacket and what person. And again, I don't know, so I'm guessing just by what you've said to me. I didn't know any of this. I didn't know that the runway thing was a deal.
Yeah, it's a deal.
Well,
and because I'm a creepy old man and I knew about it. And with Haley Van Lith going to be on the Sports Illustrated cover, there's going to be a lot of people Googling that today, both male and female, that will go, oh, I got to go look at this. And she looks pretty good in a bikini. And there's nothing wrong with that. Pretty confident in it.
Yeah, she's a 22-year-old college athlete. Yeah. Most of those look good in a bikini.
Not most.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay, I'll give it to you. We were talking about the Pirates earlier and the bricks at PNC Park. Let's talk about the Pirate baseball team.
Okay.
Paul Skenes, Ross, gave up a career-high 5 runs yesterday. 5 runs.
Career-high 5 runs?
In the major leagues. A career. He's never given up that many runs. In 26 starts, he gave up 5 runs. He still went 6 innings yesterday. He gave up, I think, 2 or 3 in the third, and then it was like 2 or 3 in the sixth. I forget what order that comes in.
That's very impressive.
And to add even more to it, they lost to the Cardinals, and he is still in his career, which is not that long. He hasn't beaten the Cardinals yet. He is now 0-3 against the Cardinals.
Okay, so 3 decisions, hasn't won any of those. 26 starts, that seems low to me too for some reason. I don't know why.
He may have a couple no decisions in there too, right?
Well, against the Cardinals, that could be.
Yeah.
But again, 26. What doesn't seem odd to me, Travis, is that in 26 starts he doesn't have a win against the Cardinals. That one I'll give him a break on. Being 0-3 against the Cardinals, that's interesting. The most impressive part of that to me is that giving up 5 runs is a career high 26 starts into your major league career. That's really impressive.
Yeah. I don't think you have to worry about Paul Skenes. I could be wrong, but you know, the farther along you get in your career, the more people see you. You're going to be susceptible to giving up runs. And he even mentioned yesterday, he was getting, he didn't have much movement on his pitches, and he goes, a lot of times with his velocity, he could get away with just putting the ball right over the plate.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to work every time. You're not going to dominate every time. What are you laughing about?
I mean, you know, I love the thing of like, hey, I don't think we have to worry about him. Are you sure? Are you sure we shouldn't freak out about this? How old is he? 22, 23-year-old kid who last year his ERA was under 2.
Oh, and going back to our previous conversation, who's he dating?
He's dating the LSU gymnast girl. Hold on.
How many college gymnasts do you know? Olivia Dunn.
Because that's Haley Van Lith is the name that's in my head right now.
No, it's Olivia Dunn.
Hey, Lily Dunn?
Olivia Dunn.
Olivia Dunn. Okay.
Olivia Dunn.
Okay.
And why do you know Olivia Dunn?
Because you talk about her a lot. For the same reason I know Paige Spiranek is.
Do not put it back on me, Ross. Why do you got to put it back on me?
Again, yes, I know her because she's a beautiful girl who has been her sexuality has been pushed onto the masses. That's why we all know that name.
But who pushed it? She did. Right? Through TikTok?
Yeah. It's not that it was forced upon her, certainly.
Yeah. But when you're making several $1 million a year, you go, okay, I give the people what they want.
But Travis, again, you're saying don't panic about Paul Skenes. That's your takeaway from gave up 5 runs last night in 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. You're saying
that's
I was going to sell. I was in sell mode.
You're in sell mode? That's the deep thought that I have is, you know, don't panic. Going back to your surprise that he only had 26 starts. Well, he didn't start last season in the majors, did
True,
he? I thought
right.
So
23 years old, by the way. At 22, last year he went 11-3 in 23 starts for the Pirates.
Not bad. Not bad. You know, when you were raising Eli and getting him an early T-ball and then that first, you know, player pitch baseball, what did you dread about those games? What did you dread when they went from coach pitch to all player pitch? What did you dread about going to those games?
Dude, if you're going to get to the thing of like the kids can't throw strikes,
yes,
that it would just be ball, it would just be walk-a-thon.
Yes.
I've got some nightmare stories.
Okay, well, how about this? There was a single A game in Florida. The Toronto Blue Jays single A team set a minor league record for having their batters walked, take a guess, in a 9-inning professional baseball game. How many times were the Dunsel Blue Jays
15 walks.
22 walks. Your eyes are cracking me up. 22 walks in a professional baseball game. All 9 batters were walked at least once. 8 of the 9 were walked 2 times. And you got 2 batters got walked 4 times. This is a professional baseball game.
I still have Paul Skenes' stats up in front of me, so just for perspective, last year he had 133 innings pitched, and he walked 32 batters. 22 walks in 9 innings.
In a single-A game. The Jupiter Marlins, I believe they are, so it was Toronto's single-A team playing the Miami single-A team. The Miami team used 7 pitchers and walked 22 batters.
Oh.
I mean, my biggest
for a professional game, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the frustration in that locker room and dugout and throw a freaking strike.
I mean, I remember when Owen was playing Little League, and you just go, oh, I love watching my kid play, but I cannot stand watching walks. Walks take the fun out of baseball.
And nobody's learning anything. You know what I mean?
No.
Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win. The coach wants to win. The players want to win. The parents want their kids to win. What's the best way to win in a game like that? Don't swing the bat. Stand there. We're going to win. We're going to win. This kid can't throw strikes. Don't swing the bat. Make him pitch to you, Robbie. Make him pitch to you. You're really struggling out there.
Settle down, Joseph. Just throw a strike. Just get it over the plate, Joey.
Let him hit. It's just you and Kyle out there. It's just you and Kyle, just like practice.
And then you got me over coaching. Just play catch. Just play catch.
Just play catch is another good one. Just throw it right to the mitt. Let him hit. Hey, your teammates want to play too. There's so many baseball cliches.
Then you got the other parents in the back. Can we pull this kid? He sucks. He sucks. Why is he pitching?
You know who throws strikes? My kid.
Yeah, my kid would throw strikes. By the way, they're asking what the final score of that game was last night between the
Nobody knows. It was so boring. Everybody left.
19-5 was the final score. You got to believe at some point they walked in a run, right? I mean, you had to walk in.
22 walks. You said all 9 batters were walked, and how many were walked multiple times?
8 of the 9 were walked at least twice. And then you had
8 of the 9 guys had multiple walks.
And then 2 got walked 4 times. 4 times.
Yeah, I love this perspective. Paul Skenes in his career, 151 innings pitched, 35 walks in those 151 innings pitched.
If you want to know the difference between the big league pitchers and the single A pitchers, there you go.
Did you see the stat about Tony Gwynn and strikeouts? These stats are just incredible. I mean, Tony Gwynn, I'm going to see if I can. Some of Tony Gwynn's stats are ridiculous. They're almost Barry Bonds-esque. They're like cartoon stats.
God rest his soul, by the way, because we lost him way too soon.
He had less strikeouts in a season than the Red Sox had in like a series.
Are you serious?
These are not exaggerated stats. I'll see if I can find some of this stuff. I'm not crazy exaggerated. Somebody will fact check some of that stuff for us and tell me exactly what it is. But yeah, there's some insane stuff out there about like guys have struck out more in a month than Tony Gwynn did over the course of a season. That's happened many times. But I think that the stat the other day was that the Red Sox struck out more as a team in a series than Tony Gwynn had in a season or something like that.
When you go to a game, I mean, you know you're going to see walks, right? But do you go for pitching? Do you go for offense? Do you go for situations?
Yes.
Okay. That's a fair answer.
I go for the baseball.
That's pretty open-ended.
I don't want to see one of those things dominate. I remember being at Busch Stadium when Jaime Garcia was flirting with a no-hitter. That was fun. That was really, really cool. And the whole crowd is involved, and every pitch feels that way. I remember being down at Principal Park when Mark Pryor had multiple home runs. It doesn't have to be a Mark Pryor situation. When a guy is red hot, and you're like, man, you're waiting in the lineup for that dude to come around because he's crushing the ball. So I want to see it all. I don't know. I don't want to see. Maybe you asked me the other day about like, do I want to see a pitching duel or I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if you're at a single A game, and I mean it's minor league baseball. But at what point in the game do you go, they've walked a lot? At what point does it get your attention? Like, this is not good.
I mean, it's got to be like about the 3rd or 4th inning, right? When you're like, God, they've walked a guy every inning, haven't they?
I think everybody's
like multiple guys.
I think everybody's walked here. What I needed to check, and I didn't check it, to see if they like walked around, like lead off, Second, if they just walked like
that
5
couldn't
straight
happen.
guys.
There's no way that would happen.
Never say never. Never say never. I didn't check.
The most interesting thing about that box score would be, what was the shortest outing? Was there a dude that didn't get an out?
Well, they used 7 pitchers.
So that very well could be that they brought in a guy, he walked 3 straight dudes, and they were like, get him out of there. This is why he's in single A.
I mean, a stat like that would probably get the attention of the GM at the big league club. Like, what the hell's going on down there?
I think a phone call gets made. Hey, did you guys see we were in the news?
This is not why we want to be in the news,
right,
folks. Oh, man. Well, hopefully if you go to an Iowa Cubs game, you don't see 22 walks. Hopefully you don't see like 5 walks. I mean, I'm trying to think, just from a major league perspective, the most walks I've seen at a Major League Baseball game I've been to, I don't know if I've seen more than like 5 walks in a game.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know. I mean, I don't remember that as a stat. So that's something somebody would have to point out to you, I think, Travis. I really do. Like when you say, at what point do people realize it's not something, when a dude's on fire with strikeouts, like, a guy strikes out 2 in the first inning, maybe 3 in the second inning, 2 more in the third inning. Right, you're like, oh, you're noticing that.
Yeah.
Right? A dude hits 2 home runs and 2 at-bats. You notice that. Walks are not something that stand out. So I really don't think you'd notice it. This might even be something that it would be late in the game. You'd be like, this game has been boring. Why has this game been so boring and long? We have 19 runs and 6 hits. How'd we do that?
Some guy's got multiple RBI. I don't remember him getting a hit. Oh, well, he walked in 2 runs. Oh, man. 515-517-2303. We say time flies here. We got an hour in the books already.
I apologize again.
Oh, no.
What have we covered on your rundown? You sent me the most detailed rundown you've ever sent.
Well, we got Paul Skenes was on the rundown.
let me look at the rundown here. See what we got. I'm on the wrong email here.
Caitlyn Clark was on the rundown. We got to that.
Okay.
Paul Skenes was on the rundown. We got to that.
Look at you, chipping away.
The WNBA sexuality thing was on the rundown.
You.
Haley Van Lith was on the rundown.
I didn't realize how many topics we covered. In my mind, we had done 2 topics.
No,
we talked about the first topic was I don't remember, and the second topic was I forgot.
The first topic was the bricks at PNC Park.
Bricks. That's what we were talking about. Bricks and boobs.
Bricks.
We talked about bricks and boobs. That's the 2 things.
Yeah, bricks and
base
boobs.
on balls. It was a morning of bees. Boobs, bricks, and base on balls.
It is the Rush Morning Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how bats and bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High quality stuff. You Can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Hi, I'm Josh Romick, manager at Willis Lexus. I want to take a moment to share with you the great deals that we've got going on starting now through the end of April. Receive $150 off a set of 4 tires or $75 off a set of 2 eligible tires. In addition to that, for limited time only, receive up to an $80 prepaid Visa or MasterCard. You can give us a call to schedule or visit us online at willislexus.com.
If you have a pest problem with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Wednesday. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or the Android app, thank you. Turn us up loud in your car, in your office, on your phone. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. You can leave some comments in the comment section. Follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. We had a fun first hour. Hopefully we're going to have a fun second hour. This will make Ross very, very happy. Gary Barta back in the news, Ross. Gary Barta's back in the news.
Why is Gary Barta in the news?
Gary Barta is now a Hall of Famer. Gary Barta. Oh, yeah. Gary Barta.
Oh, yeah.
Is a Hall of Famer now. He has been selected by the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics, that it's one of its 8 newest members to the Hall of Fame in the class of 2025.
There's a Hall of Fame of athletic directors?
There is a Hall of Fame of athletic directors. And the accolades for Gary Barta are just impressive, according to the University of Iowa.
Dude, talk about, we make fun of like the Grammys and the Oscars.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I make fun of these award shows because it just turns into a bunch of people telling each other how great they are. Aren't we amazing?
We are simply amazing.
Incredible? Aren't we so much better than them?
And the truth is, Gary Barta's resume is amazing. In
Hall of Fame for
Famer. Just look at what he accomplished at the University of Iowa. 27 Big Ten Conference team titles, numerous individual Big Ten team titles, nearly 500 All-American honorees, more than 160 student-athletes recognized as first-team All-Big Ten, and multiple National Player of the Year award winners and Big Ten Player of the Year recipients. and Coach of the Year recognitions. More than 750
Wow.
Big Ten Distinguished Honor Scholar athletes. And for 8 years in a row, Iowa reached a 3.0 grade point average.
Those
and
are great stats.
89% graduation success rate. And all the teams meeting or exceeding the NCAA standards for academic
What are you reading
progress
from?
rate.
Right? What are you reading from? What is this?
The news release.
Okay.
The news release. More than $380 million in facility upgrades.
We get it.
You don't want more?
How many lawsuits?
It's not mentioned
in
here.
all the stats there. Does it say lawsuits? Does it say how much money he had to shell out of the athletic department?
0 lawsuits.
Does it say how far behind he left the athletic department when in NIL as the world raced past him?
No mention of really bad contracts.
Is there any mention in there about his contract extension with Fran McCaffrey that had to be kept under wraps because it was such a horrible deal? And even now, 5 years later, we find out that it was an awful contract, that he wasn't actually negotiating for the University of Iowa. Is there any mention of that in those stats that you rattle off? Because my brain shut off at some point when you were going through all the accolades that these kids racked up during his time that he was there, that he was holding the umbrella. All of these kids that did amazing things under that umbrella. I heard that stuff. I didn't hear you mention anything about that. Those other things, though.
No, because they weren't mentioned.
All right.
Yeah.
Huh.
I just thought I'd point that out to you because I know you're a big fan of Gary Barta, and so we just.
I don't know Gary Barta.
No,
you know what I mean? I don't. But I don't care for the guy. I don't care for the entire thing that you just said there. In a little way, this is kind of like you telling me about the Haley Van Lith being on the SI digital cover. There were so many things in that I'm like, I got to figure this out. What's this mean to me? The Athletic Directors Hall of Fame.
It exists.
So they're going to get there and slap each other on the back and tell Gary Barta how great of a job he did because of all of these amazing accolades. Cash your checks, homie. Again, I don't hate anybody for making money. You guys did this on a rigged system, and that's a fact. Gary Barta, you did very well for yourself. Very, very well for yourself. Inside of a system that the Supreme Court said, hey, this is kind of illegal. And how could you have possibly known that you were taking advantage of a rigged system? Nobody knew. Everybody knew. And you continue to take advantage of it and leave Iowa in the lurch as far as basketball. For football, God bless Brad Heinrichs for breaking down the walls that Gary Barta had built and at least having that NIL in a position to succeed and be competitive for a short period of time.
Because
there's an athletic directors Hall of Fame?
There is.
Where?
I don't know where it's at.
Or is this another digital thing? It's a digital Hall of Fame.
No, they will actually be honored at the National Association of Collegiate Athletic Directors of Athletics convention in Orlando on June 9th.
The athletic directors convene for a convention to slap each other on the backs, and these are the same dudes that for decades told us, we don't have any money. We don't have any money. We need $20 million, and we need you guys to pay us $20 million so that we can pay these freaking athletes. Do you want your football team to be good? Then we need money.
Speaking of money.
And by the way, the athletic directors, we're going to head down to Florida so we can slap each other on the backs and have a freaking Hall of Fame?
Speaking of money, how much money do you think, according to the Iowa News release, did he raise?
Oh, my God. How much money did Gary Barta raise? Well, again, if he gets to hold that umbrella, if he gets to claim all the accolades of all of the kids, then he gets to claim every dollar that came in from the athletic department during his time. And the television contracts went berserkers during his time.
This doesn't count television contracts. This is raising money from private support. How much private support do you think he raised?
How long was Gary Barta there?
From 2006 to last year?
So call it nearly 20 years, 18 years, 18 years.
06 to 23, so 17 years.
$200 million.
He raised in private support for athletic scholarships, operations, facilities, and endowments $650 million. It's a lot of money. That's a lot.
But they need your cash. They need your cash to make this operation work. He raised $600 million.
Over 650.
I say this all the time. We don't understand what some of these people's jobs are. The accolades that you threw out beforehand with all the kids did. We think that's all the window, because we think that's what an athletic director's job is. And they want us, and they put all that stuff in there because they want us to believe. And it makes it sound like there's some big conspiracy on it. It's not like that, but we are led to believe that the athletic director's job is that first stuff.
It's not. It's the last stuff.
It's not. It's knowing who to call to say, "Hey, I need cash, man.
Your relationships.
I got to feed this machine, and the way I feed this machine is with your money."
Keep asking for it. Selling status, selling naming rights,
selling bricks,
that maybe.
But that you don't get to $600 million by selling $75 bricks.
No.
You get to $600 million by selling $20,000 parking spots. And you get to $600 million by calling a lot of people with some really big pockets. There's an athletic directors Hall of Fame.
There is.
I still don't understand. Is it a physical building?
I don't think it's a physical building, because most Hall of Fames, there's a lot of Hall of Fames that don't have physical buildings because it's hard to operate. Like but you're honored as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And now Gary Barta is a Hall of Famer.
As a part of, while Gary Barta raised $600 million, I think this is an important part of this also. For an athletic department that's part of an academic institution, that academic institution raised their tuition. And while that academic institution raised their tuition, while their athletic department was making $600 million, the value of that education went down. Make any of this make sense? There's an athletic directors Hall of Fame. Make this make sense. Is Gene Smith in it?
Not yet. He just retired.
Oh,
so.
Come on.
He will be. Gene Smith will be in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Iowa State Hall of Fame.
Come on.
Jamie Pollard will be there someday.
Jamie Pollard's not in. Gary Barta is in. Is there one of these? Do you have to lose your job in order to get in? Is there one of those deals?
He retired.
I didn't say he got fired. He was laid off. Like me. He was not fired. He was laid off.
Ross wasn't fired. He was laid off.
Jamie Pollard is not in the Athletic Directors Hall of Fame, but Gary Barta is. Call it what it is, dude. Gary Barta got fired. Gary Barta got fired. And he's in the athletic. There's an Athletic Directors Hall of Fame. I need to look it up. I got to fact check you. I don't often have to fact check you. Athletic Director Hall of Fame. Jamie Pollard's not in. The National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics. Are you okay?
Yeah, my one of my laptops is like batteries going down.
I thought you'd fallen over.
No, I haven't fallen over.
I was going to hit your life alert button for you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Because I only know the athletic directors that have been here in the state. You know what I mean? You know way more athletic directors than I do. I've never heard of any of these names. Gary Barta inducted into the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics.
Yeah.
Okay.
While we're talking about money, there's a new bill that's been introduced on Capitol Hill in Washington. H.R. 2663, Ross. This is the Restore College Sports Act. A representative out of the state of Washington wants to create the American College Sports Association, where a commissioner will be appointed by the president to a 4-year term, must be approved by the Senate, will take NIL funds and equally distribute them. I know, but I'm going to read this.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Going to take NIL funds and equally distribute them amongst all student athletes, and then allow transfer at any time without any penalty. So in the middle of the season, you could get up and just transfer to another team. That's the way I read it. Realign conferences to where you have to be playing teams that are in your time zone. They're doing this for academic and travel reasons. And capping coaches' salaries at 10 times the full cost of tuition. This is the libertarian coming out in me. No.
What do you think about that long thought out idea? No.
I don't like the NCAA. The last thing I want is the United States government running.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, every 4 years it's gonna be a political appointment.
Yes, by the president.
Get out of here.
And confirmed by the Senate.
We're gonna take all the money, put it into one pot, and then distribute it equally. I've heard this story before. Wait a minute. You're gonna take everybody's money. The U.S. government's going to control all of that, and then the U.S. government's going to distribute it to what they determine to be equal to what they determine to be all college athletes. What about esports?
That's a good question.
And what if a university just decides to start creating teams? Can Drake University have an alpine skiing team?
Depends on where that falls in with Title IX.
Might as well. Fire away, man. We got some college athletes here. Let's get some cash flowing back into this joint.
Now, you can complain all you want about coaches making too much money. I don't complain about people making money. You can complain about it, but the going rate is the going rate. And if somebody's able to negotiate a $12, $13 million deal, that's on the university.
I understand. That was all built on that was all built on that broken system. That was all built on that. The coaches' salaries are where they are because they couldn't pay the players. Because of the amateurism bullshit that the NCAA fed us for decades. The money had to go somewhere. It was a nonprofit. So at the end of the year, they had to show a zero-sum game. That money had to be spent someplace. That's where we got the facilities race that happened for 30 years. This is why coaches' salaries, assistant coaches make millions of dollars. Iowa had a strength and conditioning coach, and I'm not trying to understate it, but a guy that runs a weight room was making $1 million. And everybody's like, well, it was worth it. What? It was worth it because we won football games. Tuitions are going up.
You know what you're going to find, though, Ross? Because everybody's like, well, we got to come up with this $20.5 million line item. You're going to find there's more money there than what you think.
This is exactly my point. Gary Barta raised $600 million over the course of, what do we say, less than 20 years. I'm not great at math. That's over $30 million a year.
It's a lot of money. But it doesn't change the fact that we just had the Supreme Court say the system doesn't work with the NCAA. If this became law, the Supreme Court would say, yeah, you're not going to do this.
There's so many. There's a lot. Again, man, you've had some gems today because everything that you said, it's called the Restore College Sports Act.
Yeah.
There's this fun little game you can play in politics where bills are actually titled the exact opposite of what they do.
And this is one of them.
It's funny. They're literally titled the exact opposite of what they do.
And do you know what today is?
Oh, boy.
It's College Sports Day on the Hill. Athletic directors, coaches, athletes all gather in Washington to do some lobbying. Again, NCAA is not perfect, but it's better than the government.
It's better than Washington, D.C.
Just saying.
We're just going to tell you, listen, you guys I see that this is all getting screwed up. I think I know what the answer is. Everybody just needs to give the money to us. We'll just take it all, and then we'll spread it out amongst you guys.
Yes.
We'll take a small fee. A small little fee. I mean, our time is worth something. Wow. No, I hadn't heard about that one. The Restore College Sports Act, which would actually destroy college sports.
Yes.
Cool.
And then taking conferences and realigning them, and you can only, be in a conference where your time zone is. Okay. You would destroy.
What about? Don't Arizona and Indiana bounce time zones? They have to change conferences halfway through the baseball season.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it. Well, what if part of the year we're running on the same time? Oh, man.
Arizona State, welcome back to the pack. Oh, wait. No, you guys go back. Go back. Changed our clocks. Football. Play part of your season. Anyway.
Can you imagine? Are you doing this for your constituents? Because at the end of the day, weren't you elected to...
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah, your constituents.
Is you or is you ain't my constituents? Is you or is you ain't my constituents?
By the way, if you're watching this and have no idea what we're talking about, if you've never watched Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, that's a great one. It's a retelling of
the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Yeah. Homer's The Odyssey, right?
Yeah. I thought it was both, but
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a Coen Brothers film too, isn't it?
It's a fun one.
Yeah. Is you or is you ain't my constituent? It's good stuff. But yeah, the Restore College Sports Act.
Yeah, Restore College Sports Act.
All this is feel-good legislation because you're playing upon emotions of people who are upset in the short term. And we've said this is going to be a bumpy ride. We've talked a lot about this over the last 3 days. It's going to be a bumpy ride. You're in a paradigm shift. The Pandora's box has been opened. And it's going to get bumpier before it gets better. I believe it's going to get better over time. This stuff will work itself out. Brad Heinrichs, I put this clip up on the socials yesterday about talking about, Deloitte having to clear all the NIL deals.
Yeah. Great example. Don't worry. Hey, we got this. We're going to take this off your plate for a small fee. What's that small fee? It's got several commas.
Yeah, Deloitte, one of the largest consulting firms in the country, not doing this for free.
We're just going to take a small fee of about $3 million. You won't even notice it off the top.
515-517-2303. Hopefully my computer doesn't go dead in the next 30 seconds, but we haven't heard from this guy in a long time. We're going out to New Jersey. That's where John is. John,
John, what's
welcome
up, man?
to the Rush Radio Show.
Guys, it is so good to hear you guys back again. I stumbled upon Ross. You and I follow each other on Twitter, and I stumbled upon, I wonder what he's doing, and then found out that you guys had went rogue together. I freaking love it. I'm looking forward to the Hawkeye meltdowns that we can all have unabated. Thank you, Clear Channel. Or should I say iHeart, your former employer.
A long time
Can you guys hear me?
I still have clothing with that name on it.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great,
Very good.
man.
Thanks,
Great.
John.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It seems like you guys are having a blast trying to get this up off the ground. So glad. I listen to your podcast every day. So,
well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyway, wanted to let you guys know I'm totally with you, Ross, with Gary Barta. Can we screw over more lesbians that we have to pay lawsuits for? Can we screw over more fans because we sign over contracts to coaches that are okay with mediocrity in an old system where we don't pay the players, but we pay ourselves off the top and then some, and we're buddy with the boomers that are bitching about their 401ks melting down today. And I'm just like, well, we didn't win a national title and we may not win a trade war, but you know what? Let's see how this plays out.
It's a reminder.
The entitlement of an older generation.
It is a reminder, John, of there's two things. Another brilliant Jamie Pollard line keeps going through my head today, and that is we're going to find out who's in charge of what, and we can get to that. I mean, that's the politics thing that I thought you were calling in on, but this is another Jamie brilliant thing that I remember when we interviewed Jamie Pollard one time. What is an athletic director's job? And he very bluntly said, make money. Make money for the university. If I don't go back to the university and say this is the profit, this is why it's worth it for you to have this athletic department, that's it. And Gary, they're showing all of this. Because you're right. From a fan's perspective, we look at Gary Barta, we go, oh, he was so bad at his job, we had to get rid of the guy. And the Athletic Directors Association of America looks around and says, Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Round of
Slap him
applause
on
on
the
the
back.
career, Gary Barta.
Well, when you're hobnobbing with government officials, it's the same thing. How do you fail upwards? You get a government job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's government adjacent. My frustrating thing is, it sounds like they want to come up with a 4-year college sports commissioner that's approved by the Senate. And I'm like, guys, you already have blown it up to where it's not it's a shell of its former self with NIL. You do this, and you're going to, and just like we don't care about baseball or basketball, we will not care about college football in a decade. You do this.
Well, and I mean, like the idea of this becoming like a cabinet appointment where the Senate confirmation has to go through, whether or not Bob Costas makes a good, and, we're going to bring up old tweet. Yeah.
We got to let
Thanks,
you go,
John.
John. Good to hear from you, man. 515-517-2303. When we come back, Tommy Birch. Yeah! Tommy Birch is going to join us. Haven't caught up with Tommy since he wrote the story about us. So we'll hear from Tommy when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
We here at Willis Automotive pride ourselves on providing the utmost in hospitality, treating everyone who walks through our doors like a guest in our home. And during our Friends and Family Sales event, we extend that philosophy to our prices. From our Willis Automotive campus in Clive to each location across the metro, we have over 575 pre-owned vehicles for sale at our special pricing, including 55 vehicles priced less than $18,000. Visit our website at willisauto.com or stop into our many locations across the metro and experience the Willis difference today.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Ross has got his Don Mattingly mug, drinking a fresh cup of Joe. You know who showered for us this morning?
Who showered for us this morning?
Tommy Birch. Tommy Birch! Dude, that beard.
What's up, bud?
That beard is impressive.
Oh, man.
You like that?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a jealousy beard. And envy, not jealousy. I
funny
wish
thing is,
I could also grow a beard like that.
I have wanted to get rid of the beard, but my wife loves it, and my kids will not recognize me if I have a beard. I've had a beard their entire life, and I mean, I think you guys have met my wife. Like, she's way better looking than me. So if she wants the beard, I gotta keep the beard.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't know you were a writer for the Des Moines Register, I would say you were a brewer. I mean, that's a brewer's beard right there.
Yes, he does. Right. But I will tell you, it's at this point in life, it does feel like it's either brewer or writer when you see a guy that looks
or both.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but not newspaper writer. You're like a Hemingway, right? You need to be, writing the next Old Man in the Sea book.
Tommy, have you ever thought about a book? Are you working on a book? Have you ever thought about that?
I've definitely thought about it. I mean, I've had some topics I've kind of kicked around, but like just kind of keeping up with the day-to-day grind of the newspaper business.
Yeah.
Not to mention a couple of kids. But if I had some time, I would love to do a book sometime.
I don't want to kick you out of the newspaper business, but breaking out and doing your own thing, it can work.
Fun.
It's kind of fun, just to let you know.
You guys are inspiring.
Yeah. Well,
I
let's
don't know
hold
if we're
off on that a
inspiring.
little bit.
Yeah. be careful with the words that you use to describe us.
No, I've thought about doing some children's books and stuff like that. Our 6-year-old Bodhi is autistic, so I've thought about doing some things kind of around that route too, some educational stuff. So I'm sure it'll be something I do eventually.
Oh man,
Love that idea.
So you lost one of your past coworkers in Bryce Miller a couple weeks ago. Did I hear? I think somebody put this in our chat. Are they going to have like a Bryce Miller night at Principal Park coming up?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be when the team is actually at home. It may be when they're on the road, but it's going to be like a thing for friends, family, former coworkers, stuff like that. And odds are if you live in Des Moines, you came across Bryce at some point too. So even though Bryce was, in the industry, as a writer, as an editor and stuff like that, Bryce was one of those people, like, if you met him once, you knew him for a long time. And, my favorite Bryce story is when he was leaving the Des Moines Register. And I think this kind of sums up Bryce perfectly. Remember Brian Cooney over at Cooney's?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's going to be the final line in your column? And Bryce was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, if you can reference Cooney's, I will give you free Guinness for a year. And true to the challenge, at the end of Bryce's final Des Moines Register column, the line was like, hey, people are always asking me, what am I going to do next? I don't know, but for now I'm going to Cooney's. And I kid you not, if you walked into Cooney's with Bryce, the second he walked in, Guinness was being poured for him for over a year.
Damn. See? Where there's a will, there's a way. There's a will, there's a way. I like that. That's a great story.
Now, that was inspiring. That's why I'm in this business.
That's why you're in the business.
He'll be greatly missed, Tommy. That's for sure, man. I know he was a long, dear friend of yours. I remember when he left, and there was a going away party, and his relationships that he had with Keith Murphy, man, they were different. They were true friendships.
I said, like, Bryce, the guy who actually hired me was Mark Emmert, and Bryce had to sign off on it. But Bryce was the longtime sports editor during my time there, and I was there when he eventually switched over to columnist. But I always said, Mark Emmert hired me, but Bryce could have easily fired me. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing early on. I mean, I still have no idea what the hell I'm doing, but I had absolutely no idea what I was doing early on. And his patience, his compassion, and his understanding for allowing some dumbass, kid right out of college to just write just absolute garbage for a long time and stick with him, has always meant the world to me. And I think that's something we miss tremendously in this industry, is somebody with that type of patience, that type of understanding, and that type of guidance too.
Tommy Birch joining us on the Rush Radio Show. Your role changed a couple. Are you on any beats, or are you just kind of right?
What is it you would say you do?
What would you say you do here? So
nice movie. Way to pull that one out. That's a good movie quote.
Yeah, so I'm actually a features and enterprise reporter at the Register. I did Iowa State football and men's basketball for about 7-8 years, and then when I switched over to this role, I said like, hey, I want to keep covering the Iowa Cubs. I really enjoy them. I'm a big baseball guy. And then I was still covering the Iowa State women at the time, and the idea was like, man, they're going to be really good. We don't want to change things up when you move into this new role, so just keep covering them for a little bit. And they've just kind of stayed pretty good for a little bit. Obviously, last year didn't go the way that everybody hoped it would, but they've stayed a very solid program, very good team. So I've just kind of kept that beat too and kept it going. So I cover the Iowa State women, cover the Iowa Cubs, and then I kind of get to write whatever the hell I want, which is
Iowa lifestyle.
Amazing.
Nice. I said you get to write about that Iowa lifestyle stuff.
Yeah, and that's writing about people kind of away from those traditional beats is probably one of my favorite things because. I remember going to Iowa State football games all the time, and you look up and down press row, and there's 20 other people watching the same football game as you, and you're like, okay, the challenge is I got to find a way to tell a story that these other people aren't telling, but also like, man, as much fun as that is, like, I want to go to some places that haven't been gone to. I want to talk to some people I haven't been talked to, and I want to tell some stories that you just wouldn't read other places. And I think that's been my favorite thing. Looking back, like one of my favorite times, I absolutely hated this time because when you're rising up through the ranks of kind of the reporting business, when I first started off, I was covering like high school swimming and all that stuff. And I remember thinking like, this is not what I want.
There's nothing worse, God bless high school swimmers or even swimmers in general, but there's nothing worse than covering an event in a pool because it's humid, it's hot, it's loud. It's just like, you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
But I look back at that time and I'm like, oh my God, that was so much fun because I got to tell some absolutely amazing stories. One of the stories I've got hanging behind me is about Caleb Utesh. She was a one-legged swimmer at Ames High School who ended up qualifying for state, lost one of his legs due to cancer. And it was just an incredibly inspiring story. But I think back to all the times I was covering sports like that. All the time I would be interviewing a kid and I would see like mom or grandma or grandpa like pop in behind me and like start taking photos, and I would always joke like, man, I'm in so many family scrapbooks I'm never
dude.
And it was kind of cool knowing that like, man, this is an important moment for those kids and those people and those families that you were talking to them, you were telling those stories, and then and then you go to a big time college football event and like college football, basketball, whatever, even the Iowa Cubs, it's like these guys are just,
they don't care.
Like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't care.
Right. Brees Hall never saw a single. He doesn't have a single one of your articles up in his living room, Tommy.
I will say one of the funniest things is like I really got to know Joel Lanning's family when Joel Lanning was playing football at Iowa State.
Jeff's one of my buddies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the airport with his mom and dad, and I'm like, wow, are you guys really enjoying this senior season? What's it like? And his mom's like, I'm cutting out every story that's being written about him, and we're just really living it up. And Alex Halstead, who used to cover state sports, Randy Peterson probably wrote a column a day on Joel Lanning, and I'll never forget Halstead like leaning into me and going, I bet they have a scrapbook just of Randy column. So, but yeah, I mean, this like what I'm doing right now is the best. I'm having more fun than I've ever had before.
I'll tell you, Tommy, and I know this isn't why we brought you on, but the impact that this has. I saw this when we inducted Randy into the East High Hall of Fame. A couple years ago at our Scarlet Celebration, Randy was the East High Hall of Famer that we inducted one of. And they brought back the East High girls basketball team.
That's awesome.
From from the late 70s, early 80s, that a team had gone undefeated and won the state title, and Randy wrote articles about them. These girls, as now grown women, some of them grandmothers, could still recall the things that Randy wrote about them in the Des Moines Register. That's how important those things were. Randy was in tears as they were recalling how important those articles that were now 50 years old were to them. So
I mean, Randy is also a giant baby, but I mean, like we all see like how short-tempered he can be and gruff and stuff like that, but he's a big baby. And how the hell is he in the East Hall of Fame, but I'm not in the Dowling Hall of Fame?
Oh, this is a good question.
You gotta talk to some people.
I didn't know you were maroon. I didn't know you were a Wow, I didn't know you were a good Catholic kid.
And right now...
Well, nobody said he was a good Catholic kid. Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
I was
on.
a Catholic kid.
Well, and I don't think Ross is in the East Hall of Fame yet. I think Ross deserves to be in the East Hall of Fame.
Slow down, okay? We got a lot of people ahead of me in line there, I think.
What, would you have to reach a certain age to be in the Hall of Fame? Is there
I
an
just
age
think
restriction?
that it's, they want to make sure you're not going to screw it up. You know what I'm saying?
Clark in the Dowling Hall of Fame. She was way after me. Now,
who?
She did a little bit more than I did, but come on.
Caitlyn Clark, Tommy Birch.
I see it like this. Now, maybe it's Caitlyn Clark, Tommy Birch, but...
I mean, come on.
Come on.
What are we doing here?
I mean, we look at you and we think there's a Hall of Famer right there.
I'll send my kids to Valley. I'll do it.
Oh, those are fighting words, man.
Maybe that's why I'm not in.
That
But you are in DMPS, so doesn't that count?
No,
doesn't count.
Nah,
because you've been so nice to DMPS over the last several years.
That might be part of it also.
The season's young, and we don't talk a lot of Iowa Cubs on here. But what are the prospects for the Cubs this year?
Yeah, I mean they've got long lists of guys. The Iowa Cubs might be the most prospect-packed team in all minor league baseball. They've got the top pitching prospect in the organization, Cade Horton. They've got Moises Ballesteros, a big-time catcher, Owen Casey, an outfielder, Kevin Alcantara, another outfielder. I think they've got nine of the organization's top 30 prospects according to MLB Pipeline. MLB Pipeline did their top 100 overall prospects in minor league baseball. 7 were in the Cubs organization. I believe 5 are with Iowa Cubs. So kind of reminds me of that time, and Ross can kind of vouch for this too. It kind of reminds me of that time when the Iowa Cubs had guys like Daniel Vogelbach, Albert Almora Jr., it was a long list of...
There was an Alcantara on there also.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Arizmendi Alcantara.
Arizmendi. Yeah.
So, I mean, there are some big-time prospects on a lot of these guys. I think barring some major injuries in Chicago are probably going to be guys that are down here for a while, but you never know what's going to happen at the big league level. But because Chicago is so stacked and doing as well as they are, there just isn't going to be a need. So, I think the hope kind of is that a lot of these guys are going to be around together in Iowa for a while. But, it's like I said, that never happens. I mean, I think it's been like 8 years ago, we were talking about having like an infield of Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, and Aston Russell all in Des Moines to start the year. The Des Moines Register, we actually had a special like section for this where it was going to be all 3 of these guys. With the Iowa Cubs, I remember thinking like, okay, the team's starting the year on the road. Who knows what's going to happen? Well, Javier Baez, his sister passes away. And then Chris Bryant gets called up. So all 3 never actually played in Des Moines together. So
I know you're on the Iowa State women's beat. Another Jones girl enters the transfer portal as Kelsey Jones goes into the transfer portal. Any reason behind that? Because, her sister went to Oklahoma. The one sister has tremendous success at Iowa State. One transfers to Oklahoma. What's the reason behind this one?
Sorry if you hear some.
Hey, if you notice,
No,
it
that's
happens
fine.
here.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. We're family. We're a family show.
I'm old. My kids are all gone. So I get the place to myself.
He's kind of walking. So I've got like a giant Pac-Man machine in my office. It's pretty sick. But he just walked in with his iPad and wanted to play on that. So yeah, I mean, when it came to Kelsey Jones, like, man, the minutes were going to be really tough with what Iowa State brought in with Jada Williams and what they brought back with Kenzie Hare and some other guards. You know, people tend to forget that Kenzie Hare is going to be back for Iowa State. She ended up missing most of last season with an injury, and somebody that they think very highly of, somebody that's going to be in the starting lineup and be a big time contributor again this upcoming season. So, you know, it's a tough blow for Iowa State in the aspect that, like, man, she was a real big hustle type player. She could knock down some big threes. She could get some big rebounds. She was just a big energy boost for Iowa State throughout the season. And, you know, if you talk to Iowa State coach Bill Fenley, he would routinely say part of the reason why Iowa State finished as well as they did during the regular season, you know, they went on a run winning, I think, like 5 out of their last 7 games, ended up knocking off K-State to get their only ranked win. He was always going to praise Kelsey Jones as a big reason why. So it's going to be a tough void to fill. But like I said, with them bringing back Kenzie Hare and adding Jada Williams, expectations are going to be really high for the Iowa State women again.
All right, Tommy, I know you're a busy dude. You got to take the kid to school. It's always good to catch up with you. Don't be a stranger. You know, we when we text you, say, hey, can you come on? Just say, sure. We just like to hear the word sure.
Well, now that I know you guys are going to help boost that Dowling Catholic Hall of Fame, movement, I'll come on anytime.
We'll do that.
Not saying we have any poll. We've been trying to, maybe you could help us with some contacts over there, actually.
Yes. Yeah, we're... So, all right, Tommy, be good, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Tommy Birch joining us on the Rush Radio Show.
I've left enough voicemails at mailbox 0110 or 1001.
Come on, everybody listens to this show, right? They should be.
Yeah,
they should
right,
be
Trav. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you that. Yep.
Oh, my God. Hey, did you hear about that? I don't mean to end the show on a down note.
Oh, no.
But did you hear about that story in the Dominican Republic?
Dude, yeah, we have a lot of friends in the Dominican right now. A friend of mine reached out and said, hey, I haven't heard from our buddy that's in the Dominican, and this nightclub disaster happened.
Oh,
and there's like 190 people injured, 20 people are dead.
98 people are dead.
98 are dead?
98 people are dead,
dude.
including Octavio Dotel and Tony Blanco, former Major League Baseball players. They were all at a merengue dance, and the frickin' roof collapses and just does massive damage. This is a scary story. And I'm trying to figure out, it hasn't like dominated the news. I mean, to me, this is
because for several reasons.
The Dominican?
The Dominican, you're not talking about active superstar type of players. You know what I'm saying? Man, that is sad.
Nelson Cruz's sister was killed. She was the governor of a province. She was on the phone with the president of the Dominican and like saying, hey, I'm trapped. And she like died later on.
Man, that's just sad.
And
I didn't know. I mean, 20 would have been horrible. 255 are injured. 133 are dead.
Oh, it's 133 now. And
I'm sorry. 113.
That's a big number. That's a big number. And Ross, I hear nightclub. I actually, before I got into the story, I thought they were like on the roof partying, right? So I'm thinking, oh, they just had too much weight load on. No, the roof just literally came down.
Collapsed on
them.
Oh, nightmare fuel.
Just a horrible, horrible story. So if you haven't read about it, go check it out because it's crazy.
Yeah, that's a sad one. I didn't know about. I had seen. So Octavio Dotel and Tony Blanco are the headline. I saw Nelson Cruz tagged in the story.
But it's his sister who
his
passed
sister.
away. Yeah.
Nelson.
Nelsie. The Masters Par 3 challenge today, so we're gearing up for the Masters. Get ready for a tradition unlike any other.
Listen, and
I like the Par 3 challenge because this is where they like have fun. This is where I like
it. And this feels like it's priming the pump, right, Travis?
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to watch this today, but you know what I will? I'm going to get some highlights that are going to show up on my feeds today. While I'm killing time today, scrolling through my phone, there's going to be, clips of some dude getting a hole-in-one or whatever, skipping a ball across the water.
So just to let you know, Ross, I think we did a pretty good job of everything that was on the rundown list today. The only thing we really didn't get to talk about was the Denver Nuggets firing their coach and GM, which was really bizarre, right? I mean, they won a championship 2 years ago, and the coach and GM can't get along. The Nuggets are in 5th place in the West. It's not like they're not a playoff team, and you fire your head coach, and you're not going to retain your GM. That's really bizarre to me.
More to come. More to come on that.
Especially when you have the best player in the league, and that was the
who might be who is at some point will play an element in this story. When we find out the details, at some level, he had to. I mean, I don't think you make moves like this unless you got one of the best players in the world.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, more to come on that. I can about guarantee you that.
Iowa baseball team got a win over Milwaukee yesterday, 11-6. Hawks are playing really, really good baseball. We had Kyle Peterson on right after the show launched to talk about, the beginning of the season for the Iowa Hawkeyes. It wasn't a great start, but they've been tremendous in the Big Ten. They've really been on a roll. They're putting up runs. Their pitching is superb. The run differential is uber impressive. Hawks got a win yesterday. What else didn't we get to? As I'm getting to it,
when you say Milwaukee, is that I forget? Milwaukee has a university.
Well, it used
is
to
that
be
University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee?
Yeah. See,
it's UW.
A lot of teams, a lot of city universities do that, like Omaha, right?
Yeah.
To me, it was always the University of Nebraska. UNO. Well, they wanted to get rid of that UNO, and so they just call themselves Omaha now. So it was UW Milwaukee. Now they just go by Milwaukee.
Okay.
Which can be a bit confusing to old-timers like us. Like, this is a new school? This is a new school?
Okay. All right, I get it now. And to be clear, there is an Athletic Directors Hall of Fame.
And there is an Athletic Directors Hall of Fame.
And
Stuff you learned today.
Gary Barta is in that Athletic Directors Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Jamie Pollard, Gene Smith not.
They will be.
We
think.
Got it.
Fast 2 hours today. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to register to win for those Caitlyn Clark Indiana Fever tickets for the Iowa City game. Just go to therushradio.com, go to the promotions tab, fill out that form, and you'll be ready to go as we draw 5 lucky names on the 18th of April for your chance to shoot a logo 3. For Ross Peterson, I'm Travis Justice. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. for the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
5.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Spring is here, and there's never been a better time to get your Infiniti in for your regular maintenance. Right now, Willis Infiniti is offering $25 off maintenance services, such as fluid flushes, differential services, fuel system services. We're also offering $50 off per axle on brakes, and we have our $400 spring and service special. It includes an oil change and more. Visit with your advisor for the full details. Give us a call or head online to willisinfinity.com.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.